Hey, it's Jay, and I got another video for y'all today. So in this video, I'm going to react to the dark story of the Look at Me cover art from XXX Tentacion. Look at Me, updated redux. So if you don't know what this about, you know that kid on the cover of X song, Look at Me. This story is about him. I was on TikTok and they showed that kid, and it was you want to know the story behind him and stuff, and people in the comment section were saying that kid was bad, think he was doing drugs or something, he was in jail. It was a lot of crazy stuff. I don't know. This kid, he been doing a lot of stuff. I don't really know exactly what's been up with him, but yeah. But when I did see that cover when I first listened to X, I was like, who is that kid? And I was wondering how he was now. I'm like, yeah, how is he now? We don't know. But if y'all new here, make sure y'all like and subscribe, hit that bell icon, all the good stuff. I gladly appreciate it. TJ after going crazy. No cap, roll to 200 subs. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna see what this is, bro. If y'all have any live reaction requests, put it down in the comments. Make sure you get the link down there too. You can follow my IG, got the link down there too, y'all. So you can follow that as well. Yeah. So hope y'all got y'all snacks, y'all drinks. Now you put to get into it. And let's go. Hey.
Disclaimer to YouTube who took this video down at 200,000
Yeah, I wanna know what
views and
happened to
getting over
him. Like,
20,000
is
an
he
hour,
is he
which is
okay?
huge for a small channel like mine. This documentary and its thumbnail have been updated to be fully compliant with YouTube's child safety policies and does not show any minor participating in a dangerous act.
Hey, I know
Some
I look
parts of
dark
this
in
video
here.
will be censored,
Like
but
I
it's
had a
still a
light
great video,
bulb
so good
right
YouTube
there,
had to
but I
take it
took it
down.
out
Enjoy the
and put it
video.
in my closet.
Hey
So I got
everyone,
one right
welcome
there,
back.
one there.
So
Because
looking
like
back
LED
at
lights, I want to have the light
XXXTentacion's career,
go around
there were a
mine.
lot of key moments that
I'm gonna
really
get a light
showed
bulb
where
for
he
it.
was
This
at
can be
in his
better.
life and his career and just what kind of person he was. You can say maybe
Or
with
should I scoot a
Sad
little bit?
or Question Mark album he changed and matured a little bit more from maybe the 2016 era of XXXTentacion. But looking back at 2016 and actually 2015, because it's now been over 5 years since Look at Me originally released, and that's just crazy to think about. It
I
really
know.
shows how fast these people's lives went by, how fast their lives
Time went
changed.
by
You
real
don't think of
fast.
it
No
being
cap.
5 years ago that X originally dropped Look at Me, which would be the track that really changed his life and would blow up
Yeah,
in
dude.
2016 and early 2017. When you
That
think
song
of
still
Look
lit
at
to
Me,
this
what do you
day.
think of?
No
Was it
cap.
the extremely high energy instrumental and vocals? For me, it was always really just the album cover that he originally used. It was just that kid with a in his nose sitting in a dark room. I never really knew what it was. It was kind of strange to me because I thought, is this a Photoshop? At some points, I thought it was actually a girl because I thought, there's no way that that would just be a little kid blown out of his nose, but it turns out that's really what it was. And there's an insane and honestly extremely dark story to that photo and that kid. That kid's
I
name
heard
is
it. It was a lot of
but he
crazy
also goes
stuff.
by the name Kid Pronto. And in this video, I wanted to take
That's
you
the
on a
name,
tour
yeah.
of his extremely dark and disturbing life up to this point. He recently did an interview with Complex talking about some of his crimes and his relationship with X. But what he didn't tell Complex is
I
the
really do
most
hope you
dark
okay.
and twisted stuff. So make sure you stick around for that because that's where things really get
If you
juicy.
finna
So
get
how did
into
this
it,
kid, who
no
I'm going to
cap.
refer to as Kid Pronto, meet X? Because X was really in the streets doing some crazy stuff. Not someone who you'd think would befriend a 12-year-old, but it happened. Kid Pronto explained to Complex, saying, "We're all from the same city, so we had a lot of mutual friends, and he just messed with me." He said they met
I
in
know you're
person
not
for the
Tub
first
anymore.
time when he was invited to X's first ever concert in Florida. He said, "X pulled up on me with like 50 people on my street. Ski Mask the Slump God, and all of them were there. We went to the show together and stayed in touch after that." After the show, Kid Pronto, X, and Ski all joined the same group chat on Twitter. He said, "I was smoking and I just put the in my nose, took a picture and sent it to the group chat as a joke. We were just playing and X was like, I'm going to use this as my next song cover. He wasn't big or anything back then, so I didn't really think nothing of it. Little did he know that picture that he took at just 12 years old would become a piece of history and arguably would go on to change his life forever." And as we all know, around this time is when X started having more troubles with law enforcement. Kid Pronto says, "When he was getting in trouble, I was getting in trouble too." Now, Kid Pronto didn't want to go into detail about what his troubles were, but from publicly available court documents, Complex found out that Kid Pronto had a record of charges from 2017 that include robbery, battery, vehicle theft, and resisting arrest.
Wow.
And boy oh boy, in the future,
Wow.
do his troubles with law enforcement get much worse than this. By that year in spring, X had returned home from jail. And Kid Pronto said he was basically on the run from the law at that time, so he reconnected with X in search of help. He
That's
said, when
crazy.
X got out of jail, I had a warrant for my arrest, so I pulled up to his show, and he already knew the situation with me. Kid Pronto remembers X saying to him, alright, I'm gonna make sure you're good. I'm gonna let you stay at my crib for a minute. Going off script, this story is already crazy to me. This kid, and he really is a kid at this point, was on the run from the police after certain crimes, and now he's staying with, at this point, almost a celebrity rapper just to hang out with him. Out of the kindness of his heart, this rapper X let this child criminal stay at his house to hide from the law enforcement. It's just a crazy story up to this point, but it really gets much crazier than this. For 2 months, Kid Pronto lived at X's home. The teenager has fond memories of this time, describing the rapper as a very genuine and generous person, but it came to an abrupt end when the police showed up at their door one day. After initially telling police officers he didn't know who or where Kid Pronto was, X leveled with his young friend and convinced him to turn himself in to the authorities. During the time that Kid Pronto was in jail for his crimes, tragedy struck and he heard the news of X's death. Complex says by the time he returned home, he had settled on a new goal: pursue a music career of his own, in part because of the encouragement he'd received from X. Kid Pronto said, when I was around him, he used to tell me to make music because I used to be freestyling. He was like, bro, you snapping, you've got to make some music. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that, I'm not a rapper. But I had music all around me and all my friends were making music, so eventually I was like, alright, let me see what this is all about. Fast forward to early 2019, just before the darkest part of Kid Pronto's story. Kid Pronto recorded a few songs on SoundCloud, including My Click, Fast Lane, and Stand Tall. He gained a small fan base and right now has a few tracks that are close to reaching 100,000 plays. Kid Pronto said, I made some songs and they got some positive feedback, but my mind wasn't right, so I wasn't really too focused on music. But just a few months after he found some success on SoundCloud, his life took a very dark turn.
Local 10 News is speaking with the father of a stabbing victim who was nearly killed in a fight with a teenage boy in Pompano Beach.
Bro, come on, not the ads. This is real interesting. Y'all see me being quiet, I'm sorry. This is super
The teenager is now
interesting.
facing an attempted murder charge, and we are learning he has a history of violent incidents like this one. Local 10 Sarah Anwar is live now with her one and only exclusive tonight. Sarah.
So we're also getting an inside look at that stabbing victim's recovery, and a warning, some of it is pretty tough to look at. His accused stabber is 16 years old, but is being tried as an adult.
16?
Today, a Broward County judge set his
That's
bond
crazy.
at $250,000.
Quite frankly, very displeased and annoyed that he was given such a low bond.
Local 10 spoke exclusively with Michael Tatton. He tells us any bond is too low for the teen accused of leaving, who is Michael's son.
So he's
clinging
censoring
to
a lot of
life.
stuff
I
in this
feel he's a
video.
danger to the public.
The attack happened April 27th outside this Pompano Beach home. Broward Sheriff's deputies say stabbed in the chest and in a major artery in his groin. They say
Yikes.
was defending a passenger in a car who was arguing with when began stabbing.
In the
A
next
lot
few
of
minutes,
bleeps.
you're going to see a name blurred out with a red bar. That's Kid Pronto. I had to blur out his real name so YouTube doesn't take down my video at 200K again, so here you go. According to the Sun Sentinel, on April 27th, 2019, Kid Pronto stabbed a boy in his chest and his femoral artery was severed. He required 55 pints of blood and his heart stopped at least 4 times. The perspective that
that's
came
messed
from the victim
up,
and some
yo.
of the witnesses seems to be that this happened on April 27th when who is Kid Pronto, was among 4 teens who were hanging out at a Pompano Beach home. The group decided to go out to eat and piled into a Jeep and told he wasn't invited. Yelled and cursed at a girl sitting in the front passenger seat, grabbed her arms, and tried to pull her out of the truck, according to an arrest report. The Jeep's driver got out, and Kid Pronto stabbed him, Linder said. From a quote from Sun Sentinel,
God.
Mr. tells police that he was being choked by this individual and responded, said Ashley K., lawyer, without making any admissions on behalf of Mr. of any kind, and just going through the probable cause report as it stands for the purpose only of this bond hearing. It looks like there are 2 different versions of events by 2 different individuals.
Bro, this is
Linder
messed up,
disputed
yo.
Kid Pronto's description
Honestly.
of what happened. Mr. claims that after stabbing the victim in the chest in self-defense, he then mounted the victim. He claims at this point that the victim began choking him, and that's when he stabbed him in his groin, severing his femoral artery. Linder said that it was not logical that the teen who was stabbed and bleeding would have had the strength to choke his assailant. The prosecutor also referred to witness statements that before Kid Pronto fled, he taunted the wounded teen on the ground. Kid Pronto told Complex he still can't talk about the situation. He said this about his time behind bars. It helped me know what I want to do, and it helped me realize that it's not the life I want. It just helped me get my mind right. Right now, Kid Pronto is 17 years old and he's recently been released on
that
house
shouldn't be
arrest.
nothing you want to do.
According to Complex, he says he's intent on throwing himself back in the music scene and recording new songs, a pursuit that can be tied back to the photo he took 5 years ago. He downplays any kind of celebrity that has resulted from his internet notoriety, repeatedly saying things like, "I don't really be caring about clout in conversation," but he does admit that the "Look at Me" photo affected his life. "I never would have made no music before that," he says.
In
It
a good way or
definitely
positive way.
did
I think it
change
was
things.
I mean,
And to
that's
close
a good way or
everything off,
negative
in
way.
reference to the "Look at Me" cover art, he says, X didn't just randomly take that picture off the internet, that's for sure. And I just have to say,
That's what I
in
thought.
no way
I mean, I'm
promote
like, did
any
he
of
just
this
took it off
violence.
the
I'm not
internet? That's
trying
what
to
I
say
thought.
that what Kid Pronto did was cool or a good thing. Obviously, it's extremely traumatic, and that kid that he attacked, or teenager that he attacked, I'm sure his life has been affected by this and will continue to be affected for the rest of his life, maybe through PTSD or whatever.
Yeah,
other health
that's really
complications
crazy,
may
though,
come
like,
from this. So I'm in
dang.
no way glorifying this, and it does seem that Kid Pronto has seen the error in his ways. He recently posted a picture on Instagram of himself posing with money, so it seems that he's still kind of about that rapper flex kind of life. It says that he wants to get back into music, so we're gonna have to see what happens.
Go
with
ahead and
Kid
pursue
Pronto.
that, bro.
It's
Like,
insane
do
to
your
me
thing,
that
bro.
all of this happened before he's even an adult. And I
That-
know a lot of
that-
rappers like to glorify this
harming
lifestyle,
people is
but
messed
no
up,
kid
though.
should have
That's
to
real
grow
messed
up
up.
in an environment where
You know
they
what I mean?
grow to be a person like this. And I think we as a society, well, we already are, but should strive to make sure that Kid Pronto and people like him in the future wouldn't have
Right,
had to
like,
grow
that's
up in
bad.
an
You
environment where that was
doing
even
that to
a
somebody,
thing.
bro,
Stabbing
like,
someone was even a thing. Getting involved in all
down
this
the
crime
line.
as a kid was even a thing. I know
That's
it's kind
crazy.
of off topic, but it's just sad to see a child, a literal child, get
Yes.
involved in crime like this. It really is. So really just
Like,
a
you
dark
was
and crazy
you was
life
young,
story.
bro. Like,
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it,
it's over. So the Look at Me kid, Kid Pronto, that's his name. Pronto, that's crazy. Yeah, he 16 years old doing stuff like that. Bro, you got a whole life ahead of you, bro. That's not the move. But he changed. He said he don't want to do, like, he don't want to have a life like that. He just did that to help him get his mind through or something. Like, bro, you need a therapist. That's what you need. Don't go crazy harming innocent people, bro. You need a therapist. You need help, bro. That's not it, bro. But he trying to not do that anymore. He trying to stick to music. Go ahead and stick to music, bro. Because, like, the things you went through, your music could probably help them out, and they won't. And that could prevent them from going through what you've been through or did what you did. You know what I mean? Like, bro, just make music, inspire others, help others. That's all it is, bro. Pursue that, bro. Go ahead and do that, bro. That's it. You know what I mean? But if y'all new here, make sure y'all like and subscribe with that bell icon. Good, something gladly appreciate it. TJF, you going crazy. 200 subs on the way. Okay. So if you're new here, subscribe. Don't miss out. Because we're going to be dropping bangers, nothing but bangers this year, 2021. TJF, you going strong. Now I'm gone. Peace.